Optimal pass area. The OPA is the area or space that contains a distance from all adjacent opponents, a clear passing lane, and is performed via an advanced area action pass. Here is a visual of the OPA definition. We have a figure showing the parts of the optimal pass area. The OPA is behind the opponent's line, has distance from all adjacent defenders, and has a clear pass lane to it from the ball carrier. Here we will see how the movement of opponents will change the location and/or size of the OPA. If we take the diagram just shown and allow the defenders to press, we will be able to walk through these changes together. We see the defenders moving to press and cover the ball carrier while the next line back is positioning to cut off the central channel from us, forcing us to move to the touchline or to the limited option area. This is the area along the touchline named for the fact that your options for moving the ball are reduced due to not being allowed to play past the touchline. Now we know where to find the optimal pass area with advanced area actions based on the picture of the defense from previous lessons. Note that the game is constantly moving and therefore the OPA will also be constantly moving. It will move in location, it will grow and shrink, and it will appear and disappear many times throughout the game. Good news is, the changing of the OPA is not random. Without even knowing it, we already helped to create new optimal pass areas and even change its size throughout the games we've played, whether you are the ball carrier or not. If we look back at the diagram where the opponents start pressing, we will continue to walk through the changing of the OPA. Due to the movement of the opposition, the OPA we had before is now closed as there is no clear passing lane to this area. However, we see that due to the first defensive line pinching in to press and cover, they have left space open in the areas they have left behind. We now see the new OPAs available to our team. With every movement in the game, we go through our cognitive cycle. We need to scan to perceive the area around us. We're looking for the space available, the movement of teammates and the direction they are facing, the movement of opponents and the direction they are facing. From there, we conceive our options available. We're trying to conceive the probability outcomes of our action, whether that should be a success or it might be a failure, teammate reaction movements based on our decision, opponent reaction movements based on our decision, and how the OPA will change. In this example, we choose to attack the optimal pass area to the right in blue, even if it may not be the most optimal decision due to putting ourselves in the limited option area. I want to show how the topics covered will help us through this zone with comfort and understanding. With this pass, the receiver is now in the marked location, in their own space, and past the first line of opponents. At this moment, the receiver and all other teammates assess the movements of teammates, the opposition, and OPAs. Here, we perceive the defense adjusting to the pass and attempting to pin the receiver to the touchline and not allow her to move upfield. We also perceive our teammates moving to attack optimal pass areas to find connected positions in option areas. As we've discussed prior on the field, connected equals space, lane, and distance, where space is open space away from opponents and teammates, lane is a clear passing lane to the desired space from the ball carrier, and distance is proper distance from the ball carrier. Too close and no advantage is made as the opponent barely shifts to cover the new carrier, and too far and the opponents will intercept the pass as it travels the long distance. Option areas are connected spaces to exploit in the 3 pass option directions of the ball carrier. Remember, those 3 options in order are forward, switch, and support. This new figure shows how the optimal pass area has moved from the wide options to this new forward option, and how we also have new option areas available as well. Our forward option is the OPA that has opened up. A switch option is now available, but is not an optimal pass area by definition. However, it can be used for an advanced area action with a reception of a pass and a touch forward past the opponent's line. We also have our support option if we need a pivot, creation of time, or pressure relief for the ball carrier. So now that we are playing in the limited option area against the touchline, we need to be smart and precise with our decisions. To give us our best possible outcomes, we go through our cognitive cycle again. Our cognitive cycle is perceive, conceive, decide, deceive, execute, and assess. We scan to perceive the area around us. We're looking for the space available, the movement of teammates and the direction they are facing, and the movement of opponents in the direction they are facing. Conceive the options available and calculate the probable outcomes of all actions. How successful will the action be? What will be my teammates' reaction movements? What will be the opponent reaction movements? And how will the OPAs change? We decide on an action and commit to it. We deceive our opponents by hiding or disguising our intent with feints or dummy actions, and we execute the decision or physically perform your decision with the proper form and shape of the action. We assess the quality of the action, the desired effect, and the reaction movements of teammates and the reaction movements of opponents. To review, the option chosen before was to pass the ball up and to the right into the OPA. The defense shifted in reaction and our teammates made runs to option spaces. Now, from our position with the ball, the position of the defense in their motion, and the position of our teammates in their motion, we have several options we can choose from. We saw that there currently isn't a player moving into the current OPA. Thus, the ball carrier can decide to take the ball herself into the OPA via a dribble to break the opponent's line. Given a player's skill and physical abilities, this may be more viable for one player than another. If the player makes a successful dribble past the line, then we start the next cognitive cycle from her new location. If the player determines they can't successfully make this dribble, they must proceed quickly to the next option. That is, the forward option is cut off, thus look to a switch option. For a switch option, we have a teammate moving into the switch option space. There is a good level of difficulty in this particular option. It has all the elements of connected space, but the pressure will be on her quickly and from almost every direction. Thus, the pass must be made with the right pace, the right time, and to the right foot, while the run must be at the right time and angle. The advantage of this is that with one good forward touch, the receiver can perform an advanced area action dribble and break this second line of defense. Or the receiver can make an advanced area action pass into the OPA if the wide player makes a forward run right after their pass. We see that this particular process produces a quick wall pass action to the OPA without directly telling the player to do so. The concept enables the player to make their decision based on their knowledge, skill, physical abilities, and comfort level. A third option we have is to pass back to the supporting player. As stated earlier, the supporting player provides a pivot point, a creation of time, or a pressure relief for the ball carrier. The concept of pivot, creation of time, or pressure relief for the ball carrier will be covered in more detail in later lessons. Remember, with every action or movement of the ball, we go through our cognitive cycle. This cycle may reveal the following options for the supporting player that just received the ball. First, we may be able to exploit the OPA upfield of the passing player. We use a pass called a back and through pass. This type of pass will draw opponents to the supporting receiving player, opening more space in this forward OPA space. Another option is for the passing player to move toward the touchline into the first or reformed OPA for the receiving player. This keeps a player in the current OPA zone and in sight of the second line opponent. This means the opponent is more likely to attempt to keep our teammate from receiving a ball or moving upfield. Also, this defender may not see our other teammate continuing her run to the upfield OPA for a long pass behind both lines. This movement decision also enables the player to be a pivot point for an advanced area action pass to the forward OPA if the middle player continues her diagonal run forward. This action will require the extra action of the pivot, thus taking a little more time, but has the advantage of more space and better angles to get around the opponents. The last possible scenario we will cover for this option is if the middle player is slower or delayed their diagonal run as shown. This means the player will not be available for the upfield optimal pass area that we just covered. Instead, they are available for the switch option area shown earlier for a touch forward on an advanced area action dribble or a wall pass to the forward OPA.